So now here is the calibration process. This is going to be about a 10-minute, 12-minute video, so you might want to skip ahead. But to show you all the maintenance I did and checking everything to make sure it's printing properly, I'm going to print a calibration cube right now. Right now it's zeroing, finding its home, organizing and aligning itself, and it's going to start the printing process. It's going to happen right over here in this area right here. And you sit back and just watch what a 3D printer does. You know, it's pretty cool. And yeah, watch it do its thing. Like I said, if you want to, you can fast forward or skip through this video. Um, yeah, I'm gonna just be quiet now. And here is my calibration cube. Immediately I can tell there's a problem right here on the y-axis. No, sorry, the x-axis right here. It's not see, you can see it from here to the angle. So that means my bed needs to be readjusted and it needs to be leveled. But that process is simple. I'll do that in a later video. But this is what calibration looks like. I can see some other problems like layering, so this is a software issue. And yeah, this is what calibration. Yeah, it glows in the dark, by the way. This is the type of plastic that it uses. Well, you can use other types of PLA, polylactic acid. Let me turn off the lights. Let me go to the settings, light controls, and you can see it. Yeah, you can see it kind of glow here. Yeah, I use this for my customers. Sometimes they like glow in the dark. I have green, purple, and orange. These are pretty cool. People like this. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully I gave you some insight into the maintenance and the calibration process. And yeah, have a good day. I forgot to add this part. This is the last video. This is gonna be the last video. This last print I had on this x-axis here, you see kind of the deviation right there at the bottom. So I use the calipers to get a general idea of kind of the amount of deviation. This is 19.27 millimeters. This is a print of today. This is a calibration I did a week ago. And again, on the x-axis, I'm gonna line it up. This one's 20.27. Little bit of a variation there. Not tight enough for the type of work and the customers that I work with. This is not engineering level type of specs that I need, but it does give me indication that something could be wrong. And then visually, if my printer's off, this one here is 20.03. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not the right axis. Let me do it into this axis. It really doesn't matter. This is 19.99. You know, it tells me how my printer is performing. These are other calibrations. This is one I did about a month ago. X-axis, 20.32. This is my very, I always keep this one. This is my very first calibration I did. It's about a year ago. And on the x-axis, okay, 20.08 millimeters. Okay. And here I have a calibration triangle. You know, but I'm gonna print one of these later on when I print pyramids for people. They're interested in that, so I use this to get a benchmark of how my printer is doing. And yeah, I just wanted to add this last part in there. And have a good day.